But, it was really two kinds of parties that were going to be set up. One was a win and one was a loss, very different.
Well, Jimmy?
Step by step with this team, you had a sense that it grew, started believing. I got to think that losing twice to Montreal and then beating, and everybody says it's pretty tough to beat a team 3 times. You guys focus. Was that the point you thought, we've got something here, we could win a championship?
Yeah, I mean, I think we really started peaking around halftime of the Montreal game. I said to someone last night, if we had to play the season right now, I think we'd go undefeated. I think our offense finally clicked. Damon Allen is finally playing as if he had a season under his belt because he really lost most of the season due to the injury. And, we have never clicked as an offense due to not having the same quarterback till Montreal, really. And that's when we knew it. About halftime of Montreal, everything changed. And that wasn't only taking out Calvillo, because that happened, rightly in the third quarter, but it was really a change of attitude, and you could just see the look in people's eyes and the confidence level on the offense, because the defense has been great all year.
Well, I said earlier, and I'll say it again, I thought that BC was a false favorite in this game, which is not to say that they couldn't win the football game, because the team that's favored doesn't necessarily win the championship game. You don't get to a championship game without being good on either side of the ball. But the truth of the matter is, the week before, you guys beat the best team in the Canadian Football League. I mean, to suggest that BC is a better football team than Montreal over the course of the regular season would just be a lie. I mean, they played very well near the end of the season after a mediocre start for them. Well, a terrible start for them. Yeah. But the Montreal Alouettes were still the team to beat. They were the number 1 team in this league all year long. They were the number 1 seed. When you beat them, all of a sudden, you're capable of beating anybody. And to make BC a favorite in the game, I just thought was bizarre.
Well, I don't think we made believers out of everybody when we beat Montreal. I think
maybe not.
To some, they thought this was a one-off. It was a good game. Calvillo was knocked out. Whatever the circumstances, were we for real? And really couldn't blame them, because we really haven't been on a roll all year until the playoffs. And BC had beaten Montreal both times during the regular season, and BC, took care of us when we went into BC during the season. I think that the odds also were sort of created knowing that Printers might play. I think it would have been reflected on differently if he wasn't playing. I think he is the future superstar.
Did you raise a Spockian eyebrow? Were you smiling when you heard that Printers wasn't going to start?
I couldn't believe it, because I felt the first thing I thought of was, as a head coach of BC, you only have downside at that point, right? Because you're expected to win.
You can't possibly get a plus out of that.
You can't, because you're expected to win. So if you already brought him in, big deal. But if you lose, boy, what controversy there's going to be. And that's what I thought of immediately. And I thought of Matthews and what happened in Montreal with his backup. And at that point, right when we heard the morning of, that's when I began to become a lot more confident. Not because Dickinson isn't a great quarterback, but I felt that maybe the rest of the players wouldn't feel the same way the coach felt on his decision and may not play for him. And what we've learned in Toronto is you don't have to have the best talent to win these big games, but you've got to play for one another and play for the coach, play for the owners, whoever, and that really takes you a long way.
Chemistry does play quite a role. Now you've got a coach that's beaten 2 of the better coaches, 2 of the more respected, well-named coaches in this league. You've got an asset that's probably started out shaky from the moment you bought it to one now that is on top of the football world in Canada. Where are you going with this team, both as an owner and as the franchise?
Howard and I are going to sell the team today, because
that's what I anticipated.
I'm thinking McCown lined up, because I know he's cashing big lately.
Yeah, well, he's first on our list. He'll get a call tomorrow. We're not capable of negotiating tonight. We're just too hungover. But no, we're ahead of schedule, and that may not necessarily be great for us, because we didn't expect to win the cup. And what do you do next? And you can only match that bar next year. We can't really go past that. But I think that with the momentum we already had, the fan base was growing, the sponsorship was growing, the new stadium. I hope this brings another bit of confidence to our old and new fans that we were beginning to attract. And as believers that not only is this great value, great entertainment, we're here to stay, and we're local ownership, but now you have a winner, which always helps. And there really hasn't been a winning sports franchise in this city for quite a while.
No, I'm really anxious to see the parade tomorrow. That's actually why it came up. I called Mike, said, "Give me a gig. I want to catch the parade." Yeah.
Well, I'm hopeful that Cynamon will be recovered sufficiently to be able to see it himself.
Yeah, but they shouldn't let me drive, whatever they do.
Well, under any circumstance. But,
No.
we know that Damon has initially, after the game was over, he said he wanted to think about what he was going to do next year, and then later apparently told reporters that he's committed to coming back. Any question about your head coach in your mind?
In my mind, no question. We had a brief conversation with Michael after the game, and everyone's excited and adrenaline's flowing after the game. But you assume that people are speaking somewhat rationally. And according to Michael, he is fully prepared to come back. He is all about football. He is all about the Argonauts. There is no other career path that he wants to take at this time.
Well, good.
And it is Toronto Argonauts, and it is head coaching, according to Michael, as of last night.
Well, listen, it was quite a season from rather humble beginnings, I guess, of a couple of guys out of nowhere just kind of surfacing to buy effectively bankrupt football team. A season that saw you announce a location for your stadium that turned out to be ill-fated, and then a new one, to an increase in ticket sales, to 30+ thousand for a playoff game, to a victory in Montreal in front of more than 50,000, and then a Grey Cup victory. It's a pretty good ride, huh?
It's incredible. Like I said earlier, it's beyond our first-year expectations, because we knew with Keith Pelly at the helm that we were building a great team off the field. What we didn't know was how great our team was on the field and how great Michael "Pinball" Clemens was as a coach. None of us knew, obviously, because he really hadn't had a real full year with solid ownership and not having to worry about paychecks bouncing. So there was a lot of unknowns there. And when the two now together combined, it's unstoppable. And I see no reason why the Toronto Argonauts cannot be as popular and as successful as they were 25 years ago. There's no reason.
Well, in a market that this size, that's very possible. But all PR aside, all said and done, why did you do it? Why did you buy a team in the situation it was in and just throw your hat into this particular ring?
We have the true belief, and we're turning out to look either lucky or smart, but we really believe this, that the marketplace is changing and maybe changing back, and everything is cycles and business are cycles, and we think the fan may be a little fed up and a little annoyed with some of the big league sports franchises around the salaries, the strikes, may it be whining, maybe I want to trade, whatever that might be. And we didn't foresee the strike, but that's just an example. That there is a value sports entertainment product in this city that has 130 years of history. It's an icon of a brand. It has hundreds and hundreds of thousands of fans, may they be closet fans or they're coming out of the closet. So we're not reinventing that wheel. But there is a niche marketplace of approachable athletes that are out there that make a living. They truly play this game for the game. They make the money because they need to live, but they could make, if not 100% of that money, 80, 90% of that money at any other profession, most other jobs. So when you have approachable athletes like this that go out and they truly bash their heads and break their limbs and sacrifice their bodies the same way that the $20 million athlete does, and you can go and visit them on the field after, or say hi to them, or have Michael "Pinball" Clemens, visit you in a hospital, I think that that is something that the Torontonian down the road, and maybe even sooner than later, is going to accept rather quickly, and we think it's good timing for that.
Well, listen, congratulations again. What an extraordinary ride it's been, and it's going to continue. And without further ado, get out of here and go to bed.
Thank you.
Because
don't mind if I do.
You're wrecked.
You got things to do tomorrow, too.
Yeah,
you're
parade.
wrecked, and you got a parade to go to.
And
tomorrow.
everybody, please come to the parade. I'll look a lot better.
11:30 tomorrow, I think.
11:30, and at 12 o'clock we'll be at City Hall, and the mayor will be there, and we've got a lot of people and pinball, and it'll be great. It's nice to bring it back.
It's great of you to take time to come in here. I don't want you to think we're frivolous about it. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
David Cynamon, the co-owner of the Toronto Argonauts. They are the Grey Cup champions. Who'd have thunk it for 2004? We'll come back with more. Primetime continues on the Fan Toronto and Rogers Sportsnet.